Have you ever wondered what sustains us while moving forward in our busy day-to-day lives? How we manage to wake up in the morning, finish that big presentation, make it to our kids' soccer practices, finish the speech before the deadline? For most Americans, the answer to that question is coffee. Americans consume 400 million cups of coffee every day. That's the average of about 146 billion cups of coffee per year just in the United States alone. A study shows us back in September of 2001, the US imported 2.72 billion pounds of coffee just in a single year. This making coffee the US's largest food import and the second most valuable commodity in the world, right next to oil. However, it isn't just about the consumption. There's a huge process that goes into making your grande non-fat 5-pump pumpkin spice latte with extra whipped cream. Even the more complex drinks have the utmost richest coffee flavor underneath all of that sugar. I should know since I've worked in the coffee industry for 5 years. So what is coffee? We drink coffee in our day-to-day lives, but do we know where it comes from? Grown from a coffee tree called the coffea, coffee trees grow a fruit called a cherry with seeds that come from where the beans are and take 3 to 4 years for the tree to produce any kind of fruit. Once the fruit is ripened with color, the cherry is picked by hand by farmers and oftentimes their family and children. The seeds are then removed from pulp by hand or machine, then laid out to be dried. The final stage of the process is for them to be milled by weight, size, and color, and any imperfections are picked out. The beans that are green before being roasted are put into a burlap sack and shipped out around the world. Do you know where your coffee comes from? The two main types of coffee we consume are Arabica coffee and Robusta coffee. Arabica coffee comes from South America, Eastern Africa, and Asia, whereas Robusta coffee comes from Central Africa, Southeast Asia, and Brazil. Arabica coffee is grown at a higher elevation, which gives it a different taste. The higher the elevation, the richer the bean. The less oxygen that the trees have, the more you get a deep, concentrated, rich, bold flavor. Arabica coffee is sweeter with more taste notes of fruit and sugar, whereas Robusta is stronger and has a more harsh flavor. And how is it made? Beans are roasted from green to brown at about 400 degrees. The caffeole, the smell of the beans, begins to emerge when they begin to be done. Beans are ground to the desired purpose. Espresso is finer grounds, drips are for more coarser. Espresso is concentrated, whereas drip coffee is more diluted. In America, coffee comes in 8, 12, 16, 20, and even 30 ounces sometimes. Americans tend to drink sweeter drinks that are in larger consumptions, whereas in Europe, their quantities are small of 12 ounces. Their drinks are very basic. They have cappuccinos, lattes, and espresso, and it's also very rare that we see them drinking anything with sweetener in it. It's merely a social setting to get together with friends and catch up. Americans, on the other hand, use their coffee to keep them up, to push forward through the day, and it's their extra boost that they need, to often dependent on caffeine. So coffee, what would we do without it? Could we go on through life, or would we cease to exist? Mediocrity, a life without a cup of joe, would not only mean the end to that daily stop at your local coffee shop, but the socioeconomic fallout would be just as atrocious. But within our society, a commodity that brings jobs and brings us together, coffee has and will continue to be a staple in everyday life. No matter your interest level, if you're into the finest coffee or late at night, as a studious college student, everyone has found a use for their caffeinated beverage. Seasons are ripe with holiday blends, and drinks from favorite coffee shops are looked forward to almost as eagerly as the holiday itself. Coffee is more than just a drink. It's also a community in and itself. Baristas are fluent in what pairs best with that Danish, or what will be most aromatic to fill your home every morning. So whether you're a simple drip coffee drinker or enjoy the more complex crafted drinks, take a second to realize that you are supporting more than just your Monday drive to work. The coffee is supporting you.